Hey guys, it's me again. I'm coming on tonight. I have a kind of a different download to talk about. I really was very inspired by this message, and it was kind of a vision that I was shown, but it was very beautiful and I thought I would share it. Basically, it was that life is the melody of the soul. Okay, so what I was seeing was, if you can imagine, the metal keys that are in a music box, how they're on a spool usually, and they like unfold and have a pattern within them, or little metallic teeth that come out of it. That melody that the soul plays is what is genuinely being played throughout our life. And it's like it's a music reel in a cosmic expanse. So I was like, like I said, I've been going through some things for the last weeks, and I've been staying to myself because I've been trying to work on my energy fields and just keep things aligned and trying to stay raised within. I've been, going through my physical situations, but that's past me. I think this, there's been an energetic shift, I feel, for me. I think some things have come into pass that have been quite plentiful and grateful. I've been so grateful, and I hope you guys have too. I feel like we were trying to really or at least I don't know if you guys went through this. I was going through a turnover for sure. And I know they say yesterday was Pisces moon, but I also am a Pisces moon. So I'm hoping things are going to flow a lot better. But then I was approached with this over the last weeks. I've had this drawn on this board for some time, but I felt like everything came together. And I think the vision I was shown was we're like a melody reel that's playing in cosmic expanse. So some could see it as the many worlds theory, that every decision we make, there's a version of us that's alive or dead or is doing something else at every given time. There was something about that I found within what I was shown, but I put this word, which if you can't see, it says PLINKO. That's the way it felt when I was experiencing this. And if you could imagine that what I drew is just the end of the reel. Imagine that this is the music tape that's playing in the cosmic expanse all through your life. There would be 40 of these boards, if you get what I'm saying. But let's just focus on the end reel, okay? So I'm sure you guys have all heard of blueprints and how life decisions and choices and things can kind of shape your life. What I was kind of being shown was that instead of it being an infinite expanse of possibilities, that it is somewhat suppressed to a real style, sizing in a cosmic expanse. So it's very large as well, but may not be infinite, of different life decisions that you can make that will result in a final life end path. Okay, so what I have down here are these final endings. Okay, so I'm sorry to say, but we have to go to the next level, right? This side is when you get to the finish line, you might choose to come back again and redo it. That's the box that I have right there. This one is that you did good enough, so you might be content and want to move on in a spiritual ascension. This one is the ideal ending. Okay, you followed most of your path, and I'll explain this afterward. And then this one is maybe you need a next round. You're not too satisfied. It's satisfactory, but you're not too satisfied. And this one is try again next life. Okay, so what this was being shown to me, and what I've always propositioned as well, is because of what I've been saying about higher selves being aspects or parts of your oversoul, who you are in all essences. There are fundamentals that are ingrained within us that we subscribe to. And is that if you see all of these points on the board or the end of the reel, and I'm going to put the reel up. I think I put it before, but you get the drift of what I'm saying. In a cosmic expanse, there are somewhat parameters, if you can see. And what I believe I was seeing was that the higher self aspects that make up the oversoul are in direct congruency with the vertices that you're calibrated to react with. And what I mean by that is over here where I said the higher self aspects, I said it could be 9 of them or 12 of them that you subscribe to. And what that means is that your life path will have certain vertices that you'll intersect with, and you can see it's a webbing, and it's even more beautiful when you see it in your mind's eye. It's just the webbing is just so expansive, but I tried to just make it very simple for this. But this is the end, okay? And these boxes are checkpoints. So there's different points that or different decisions you make that could lead to you finalizing earlier than expected. So I put those boxes there because those are real. That does happen. So every one of these vertices is governed by those aspects, okay? Is that when you get to these Schrodinger cat points in your life of like, is the person alive or dead? That's what I like to call them, these vertices. Because of your calibration and its skill sets over here, the aspects will modify how you decide or react somewhat to these points or vertices on the reel, okay? Now, if you could imagine that you will make a yes or no decision or this or that decision, a closed-ended decision of yes or no, you will then move in different vertices dependent, right? Like of which way you go, right? So it's like at every point in time, you are directed to another vertices again. And then all of those vertices will lead ultimately, and this is why I said PLINKO, like you'll just follow along to next vertices and downward. Not to say that that's how fast it happens, but through the progression of time or through your melody, you know, of the soul, that this is taking place. I feel like this is a version of timeline, but at the same time, when it comes to like many world series, it's like, or infinite world theory, you have such a great expanse. And I feel like what I was being shown was there were parameters, and it was based off of our higher self aspects, because those moldings are ingrained in us from the beginning of our existence. And our reaction to certain, you know, vertice situations or Schrodinger cat situations will determine how we move through the melody of our soul. And the thing is that we're always discovering, like, we don't know how the melody goes. We just are a player of the melody. So we go through all of these webbings of soul existence, and we just, I guess in a sense, ping pong through our decisions, but our decisions are crafted or more understandably so to kind of shape how we may or may not respond to a situation that is very pivotal to our growth or to karma, etc., throughout our life path, which is this larger real, which is infinite if you think about it, because we are eternal beings. Our energy never dies. But I was being shown this, so it's like every time you hit one of the vertices and you make those decisions based on the aspects, and if you are in a 9 aspect framework, then you usually your oversoul will encompass perhaps 9 higher selves. Some will have up to 12, or maybe some even more, but that seems to be the primary numbers I was shown. And what happens is that because it shapes your answer sets, it kind of minimizes the amount of alternative ricochet effects that one would imagine within many worlds theory. It's like, because it's calibrated to certain responses based on emotional or pivotal moments in time for the player of the music of the soul, you end up having modifications or moldings from what shaped you throughout this whole melody of life. So I was kind of being shown that, and it's like when you get to the end, it's like this would be the blueprint, and your idealized like soul self, oversoul, wishes to encapture certain markers, ergo certain points along your life, markers which either heighten you or enlighten you throughout your path to get you to this ideal point. And that's what I meant with the whole like PLINKO thing. Like, you would just try to get down to the one that is the ideal. But the thing is, how many lifetimes does it take to do that? And are we blessed enough to have those lifetimes, you know? Because it's like, in one lifetime, will you get the ideal, or will you just get the good enough, or will you get the next round? And all of them are okay, because again, we are infinite. But it just made me, it was just, imagine this all in steel, and like with these were all like the teeth, like if you could imagine, like all of these little vertices were like teeth that get played throughout the expanse of the cosmos. It was a beautiful vision, but it made me really think about the challenges and the things we go through in life and the decisions and how they affect us. And as we do maybe become more consciously aware of our higher self aspects that do play in our oversoul, or who we are in our embodied self, our fullest self. Like, we're going to explore most of our lives to find this essence of who we are, or what we are, you know. But I was shown this and I felt like it was a beautiful vision, and I wanted to share with you guys. So if you do like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. It's very free. It's something that I just want to share with the world. So I do think that this helps us to understand why we're calibrated a certain way, why we go through certain trials is kind of predetermined from that calibration. Because ideally, what I think is also happening is that we are trying to break through these patterns brought on by the self aspects of our higher selves. So it's like, if we can either work with them, move them into some form of alignment by making the right decisions at those vortice moments of our life that do send us on different trajectories. And I mean, there's way more than this. I just, like I said, I was just drawing to make it clear for you all. But we have so many more. The webbings I was seeing was like supremely fantastic. So there's so many vertices in one web, you get what I mean? And it was like, at those moments in time, it's like all directed to what you choose and how you react and how you move through that melody. So I thought it was lovely and I wanted to share it. I've been feeling a lot more, you know, as we've moved into Pisces moon. I'm not usually a follower of this stuff, but I can honestly say the more I've been opening up to my intuition and to things of a water-based nature in this last couple of days, like, I've been feeling a lot more free. I've seen some abundant movements in my path, and I truly feel like what I went through those last weeks of February was quite intense, but it was to purge through and work through things. And I don't know if you guys have been going through it too, but I'm hoping to get through all of this melody of life and make that imprint on the world that I'm trying to get across, because I know I'm all over the place. I don't have a niche. I honestly get inspired by so many things in life. I don't sit still. I don't stay in one place. My mind is going a million miles an hour all the time for many different reasons. But I did see this in my mind's eye, and I did process some thoughts on it. And it was really interesting. I wish I could relay like what I was getting. Because I was like, wow, our aspects kind of morph how we'll actually proceed in this 3D existence. And these decisions we're making are all kind of playing out to one beautiful, beautiful universal song